My name is Hilario Magallanes. I'm from Marfa, Texas, was from Marfa, Texas. And I was born there and raised, went to high school there until I left the Army, came back out of the Army. My father was a master plumber. I moved to El Paso and started working in plumbing here. And I became my plumber's license for 40 years here in El Paso. I had my own business and everything. And then all I did was raise kids from then on. We got 8 kids.
When did you join the military?
September 1950.
Did you join, or were you
I was drafted.
You were drafted?
First draft call after the Second World War.
So where did you train?
I trained in Tacoma, Washington, Fort Lewis, Washington.
How long did you train there?
I trained there as a combat engineer, 3 months as in infantry training, and 9 months in advanced engineer training.
Were there any other Hispanics training with you in that engineer?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of them.
Do you remember the name of the unit you served in?
1438 Treadway Bridge Company. They wanted so many guys for overseas duty at that time. So they wound up taking all the guys that we were going to be trainers, plus the first sergeant and the officers wound up going overseas with me at the same time. So they practically cleaned the whole company, and they could, of course, they replenished it with from other companies.
Right.
See, when I went in there, I was a private E1. And then when I was taking training, I became private E2. And then when I finished the engineer training, I was paid a PFC, private first class. I qualified to go to officer school, but I turned it down because they wanted me to sign up for 4 years. And I had just been married 2 weeks.
You'd just been married 2 weeks?
So yeah, I had been married 2 weeks, so I wanted to go in and out. So I didn't sign up for 4 years. I should have. If I had been single, I probably would have.
Okay. Would you mind talking a little bit about this photo and some of these medals?
Yeah. This picture was taken when I was drafted. It was taken at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where I processed. And then I was a rookie there. Oh, I got this one for serving in a unit before I even went into the Army. I used to be in the National Guard. And this was awarded to me after I came back. And that was, he came back and I was eligible for it, and they wanted that to me. I don't even know what that was. I guess it's for services in Korea. And this one here, a troop came from Korea to, and they had a program here at Fort Bliss, and I was called to go out there, and they presented me with this here, and this is awarded from the Korean people. It was awarded in appreciation for services for their country, third country. It's a big ribbon, and the big medal on it. It's got the American flag and the Korean flag together there.
And the first one you talked about, you said it was the Good Conduct medal?
This is the Good Conduct medal.
Okay.
You don't get that, you get in trouble.
And the second one,
This one is a Korean Service Medal with campaign stars on it. That's the campaigns that I served. And then it's and this is the United Nations fighting, because we were actually United Nations troops.
how many campaigns did you serve in?
Well, actually, I should have gotten credit for 4. First campaign, I was there for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then that campaign ended, And then we got the second campaign, I completed a full one, and the third one a full one. And I left on the fourth campaign. I was in that campaign for about maybe 3 or 4 weeks. But I qualified for all of them. But they only gave me 2. I didn't want to argue with them. I just wanted to come back home and see my wife.
Okay. Do you remember the names of these campaigns, or?
No. No, I don't. I never paid any attention to campaigns.
You were given your orders and you
Yeah.
go out and do them.
Well, we never knew where we're going to go, because we needed to work with different. Sometimes we were building 2 things at one time. But from the tele headquarters, we serve both companies. Whoever needed something, we take it to them, or bridge material, bulldozers, air compressors, cranes.
And when you were in the military, did you ever experience any discrimination because you were Mexican American?
No. In fact, I think when I was in the battalion headquarters, the one I was in, I was the only Mexican American in the whole bunch.
Were you really?
In the American battalion headquarters. Then most of them were from New York, Brooklyn, and Pennsylvania, because actually my sister driver, in fact, they used to call me Tex, because I was the only one from Texas. And this, my sister driver happened to have been an Italian from Brooklyn, New York. His name was Mike Esposito. And he's one of those guys that don't believe anything you tell him. You know, that's the way Italians are. You tell them something, they don't believe you. We eat a lot of pepperoni. Because his mother used to send him a lot of pepperoni, real hot pepperoni. And only him and I could eat it. Because he used to eat in chili.
So it was too spicy for everybody else.
Yeah, real spicy. And one time we were building a bridge, and the second lieutenant goes up to, "What are you guys doing?" We were sitting in the cabin of my truck. He said, "What are you guys doing?" "Oh, eating pepperoni." "Can I have a piece?" Gave him a piece of it. Man, he took off like that. He must have drank a gallon of water. Because that pepperoni was hot.
So overall, you would say your experience in the military was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No complaints about it. I did pretty good. I liked it.
You liked it.
Of course, I wanted to come back home for my wife.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure.
This interview.
Mr. Carrasco's life was dedicated to the transformation of suffering into strength. He believed that humans could rise above their situation and fulfill their inner potential. His dream was that all races would work as a team and to achieve this. And the way we know him and we remember him is a phrase, "pasó por aquí." And so that translates into "pass through here." And Mr. Carrasco's magnitude touched us as he passed through, leaving us to carry his legacy of compassion, hope, and love for human life.
I'm David Carrasco. I'm the Neil Rubenstein Professor of the Study of Latin America at Harvard University. I identify myself as a Mexican-American historian of religions who really studies the rise of ancient cities in Mexico as well as the religions that were formed along the U.S.-Mexico borderlands. And I'm the son of David L. Carrasco of the David L. Carrasco Job Corps Center in El Paso, Texas. Well, legacy is a very interesting word because legacy has to do with the idea of having a lineage, and a lineage that passes down through the generations certain meanings or powers or values. And in the case of my father, one of the primary legacies that he has to do with education for everyone, but education that not only gives people new information and new knowledge, but an education that allows people to participate more effectively in the democracy in which they were raised and in which they are citizens.
My name is Stanley Milton. And I'm very proud to work at the David L. Carrasco Job Corps Center. Ms. Carrasco hired me 41 years ago, and I'm proud to work and help out the youth in our community and surrounding areas.
He's a legend. He's the one that really looked at the young people, and we have a lot of potential, that he always cared for his students and to be successful.
One of the things that I did learn was, I'm a disciplinarian, so he was too, but he had a lot of heart. So I learned a lot of compassion and heart from him. And his legacy continues to this day.
If he's still alive, I can tell him many thanks to him, because I really appreciate the opportunity that he's given to me for this trade school.
I'm running a department in which I started off as a secretary. And so this is every day I do carry Mr. Carrasco's legacy and remember at the end of the day why I'm here and why I return every day.
I'm Bernie Mora. Actually, I'm Joe Bernard Mora Jr., named after my father, Joe Mora, who was the founder of Ticos Tacos. I'm here today to tell you guys a little bit of the inside stuff on our business.
So tell me, how does it feel to be a local celebrity in El Paso?
Well, sometimes it feels good and sometimes it doesn't. You know how that goes. You know, with notoriety comes, both sides of it. And we just actually try and fly under the radar. My father was a low-profile person, and he kind of passed that on to all of us, me and my two brothers. And, we kind of fly under the radar if we can.
Okay. So tell me, what are some of the character traits that helped Mr. Joe Mora become a successful businessman?
Well, the thing about my father is he was very patient, man, which I'm not. He had a vision, and he stayed with it, and he was always accountable, and he was always hardworking. I mean, he worked 7 days a week forever, running all of his businesses, and he wanted to make sure that Chico's Tacos took off, and it took a while. People think, oh, it's this, no, but I mean, it took a while. It wasn't overnight by any means. Patience, like they say, and he was a very accountable person. He was always accountable for everything he did.
And what do you remember since you were a little boy? The first Chicos.
Yeah, actually, I do remember. I was just a little boy, right? And I was like an old Quonset building. You can see in this picture over here on Alameda Street, right next to Washington Park. And they opened it July 4th because the fireworks at Washington Park, and there was a lawn in front of the restaurant and beside it, and then adjoining the park, so people could come and eat food and watch the fireworks. That was the whole premise of July 4th. He used to have a boxing club. He managed a stable of boxers, and he had his boxers working there. I remember when I was just like 3, 4, 5 years old, he'd take me in, and I go and I see these rough guys with a broken nose, but they were just so nice and so cool. They were just the Popeye arms, and they're just giving you the tacos. They had the white shirt and the hat on, and had a lot of character. And it had a jukebox in it, as small as it was. And the high school people from Jefferson would come and do the jitterbug. It was a tiny place, so you had to put a sign, no dancing. Which I never told him, what do you mean, no dancing?
Would you guys help your dad, with the restaurant?
Not till later. I started when I was 15. My older brother started when I was 15. My younger brother started later when he was like 21. He went on and got CPA and stuff. He was trying some other things. But me and my older brother were like hands-on from our freshman year in high school. Actually, I'm very flattered to be accepting this award on behalf of my father, because he always thought, and as do we, education is just a huge part of our community. And the fact that El Paso Community College is recognizing him and giving him this award, it's just, I'm sure, he'd be tickled to death, because, like I say, he was a low-profile person, but, it's always nice to be recognized, and for something beneficial because the community college community, we are community. So I think we definitely go hand in hand. And once again, education is just paramount for all of us. You know, we love to support all of the high schools and the anything we can do for colleges and stuff like that. We always try to help out a little bit. You know, once again, it is about the community.
In 1974, Mr. Fred Loya Sr. started his insurance career in El Paso, Texas. One office, located in the Northeast, has now turned into over 720 operating offices in 10 states, including Texas, California, and Illinois. Fred Loya Insurance continues to grow, and by the end of 2016, will be operating in 12 states with well over 3,200 employees. What started with a single storefront in El Paso, Texas, has grown to be the 19th largest Hispanic top 500 owned and operated company in the United States with over $500 million in premium revenue. Fred Loya Insurance is now under the control of the second generation of the Loya family. In 1996, Fred Loya Jr. assumed leadership of the company as CEO. At the same time, Flower Loya assumed the role of president. Fred Loya Jr. handles all operational aspects of the company, and Flower Loya handles the administrative departments of the company. Fred Loya Sr. and Maria Loya are still active members of the company and continue to work at the company's headquarters offices on a daily basis. The Loya family has created an incredibly successful business that has managed to extend from California to Georgia. The dedication and vision by the Loya family has enabled their family to pass their business to future generations and continue to thrive. My name is Richard Carrillo. I am a sales manager. I'm an office manager here at Fred Loya Insurance. I've been with the company for 6.5 years. I manage 3 offices here in El Paso. How do you feel about working for Mr. Loya? You know, when he's present, his presence alone is he's just a remarkable man. You know, what are some of the character traits that helped Mr. Loya to become a successful businessman? First and foremost, he accredits it to hard work. You cannot achieve a success without hard work. And then secondly is definitely the support from his family. He has a very small family. It's just 4 of them. And that support has really helped them grow. And third, I would say he says the enthusiasm. He carries a lot of enthusiasm. He's very enthusiastic, especially, well, the way he says it is that enthusiasm carried him through the hard times. What would you say that Mr. Loya's legacy for El Paso is? I would say, again, Mr. Loya hopes to be remembered as a man who loved his family, was fair with his employees, honest with his customers, and generous with his community. How does Mr. Loya feel about being recognized from El Paso Community College? Well, I'm sure it's a great honor, to be recognized by El Paso Community College, because it's I know his thoughts are always, it's not the size of the school that you come from, it's not the size of the community that you're from, but it's the legacy that you have left behind. He started this company here in a small town in El Paso, and it's not, oh, it's a small city, so nothing good can come of it. No, it's look at what you have done, and now he's a nationally recognized man. It's a great honor to be recognized by El Paso Community College.
I'm Gary Edens, Vice President for Student Affairs at the University of Texas at El Paso.
Dr. Edens, what are some of the character traits that helped Dr. Natalicio become a successful president of a university? What contributed to her success?
Well, I think number one was really the vision that she had for the university. She knew from the very earliest part of her tenure as president that she wanted to make a difference in our community. And she quickly realized that there were too many students that just simply did not have the opportunity to pursue a higher education. They were talented, they had the intellectual capabilities, they had the desire, they just didn't have the opportunity. And that realization on her part, I think, was critical to not only her success as our president, but our success as an institution.
What would you say is President Natalicio's legacy to El Paso, and how would you describe that legacy?
Legacy is kind of a hard thing to think about. What you want to, I think about is the impact an individual has. And I think her impact is not only evidenced every year when we have students cross the stage at graduation, but it's evidenced by the staff and faculty that we've hired over the years that have increased the academic quality in our institution, promoted student success in creative and innovative ways, and really has changed not only the institution but the community as a whole.
Please discuss who has been a part of President Natalicio's legacy, who inspired or mentored her, how is she passing on her legacy?
I think what motivates her is that she sees every student in this region as needing an opportunity, and that opportunity is to pursue their dreams, which is often a higher education. And what motivates her is when she sees students succeed, and when she sees students come to the university, many times at a time when other universities wouldn't have even allowed them to come to the institution. But UTEP believes in them, and we give them that chance, and they succeed, and they go on to do great things in their career, with their families, and with the community.
The theme for our event this year is preserving our legacy. What do you think is important for us to know and remember about President Natalicio?
She'll be the first to say she hasn't done it alone. It's a team effort, and it really is a team effort, but every team needs a leader, and every team needs that goal. And Dr. Natalicio, from the very first moment she became president, articulated that goal of being the best university we could be, to making sure that we provide every student an opportunity to pursue an education, and that's something we've been committed to doing for 30 years.
My name is Randy Polanco. My major is nursing. I couldn't believe it, but at the time, I felt that it was the right time to get my scholarship because in order to go to nursing, which is a really tough major, I stopped working. I don't have any income. So winning the scholarship and being recognized for the work that I've been putting out there, it's really, it's a really good thing. In Dominican Republic, I was going to medical school, and it was a really tough time. I didn't have the income, but my mother was the one that was believing in me, was the one that helped me going through. And when I moved here, I didn't have anybody, I didn't have any income, I didn't have anything. So winning the scholarship is not as much as the money, but it puts me closer to my dream to become a registered nurse. Well, what I wrote in my paper, it's also about the legacy that my mom gave me. My mom raised four children with my dad, and at the time she had to stop going to college, stop going to what she was pursuing as a mother, because she wanted to give us a better life. So when my brother was born, she stopped going to college because it was too much for her, a marriage and being a mom. So she stopped. I was 15 at the time when my mom decided, you know what, I'm going back to college. I'm going back to get my degree. So she talked to us. She said, you know what, you are capable of taking care of yourself. So I'm gonna go to college because I'm gonna give you what you need to go to college as well. As I remember, when I moved to this country, I was working in a factory. Most of the immigrants work in factories, work in housekeeping, some kind of jobs that have a low pay. So my mom one day told me, you know what, that's not for you. You know that you had to go to college because that's the only way that you have to get a better life. So that's the legacy that my mom gave me. You can do it, you can do it, you can go to college, you can learn English. It doesn't mean being Hispanic doesn't mean that you can do anything. So I think the best way is working with the community and share the knowledge that I have and my mom gave me to others. I want to thank the El Paso Community College for this scholarship and the opportunity to grow within the community. And also I want to thank my mom, Leonarda Rodriguez. She is the big example. And once I told her that I'm going to be somebody, I'm going to be somebody. yo quiero que los que me están viendo nunca olviden que si yo puedo, tú puedes.
My name is Esmeralda Carranza. I'm majoring in medicine. I'm actually studying my associate in biology at El Paso Community College Mission Campus.
I understand you needed to write a paper to win the scholarship. What do you write about?
I basically write about how I was born in California, and how my parents and I went back to Jalisco, and we lived there for a while, well, almost all my life. And then my father always came here to work, and he sent us money and everything. Now we came here when he do the papers for my brothers and my mom. We came here and I have to start everything again, like my school and everything. I was about to graduate there in my high school, so I came here and I had to start from 9th grade, and they discriminate me because I only spoke Spanish. Mostly write about how my parents educate me and how my parents told me that I can do it even when no one believed in me. That I have to believe in me and do it by myself, because no one's gonna do it for you. And now that I'm married, I'm doing like the same traditions, the same things that they told me to do and they told me, you know. And I hope one day I will teach my kids the same way.
What do you plan to do in what you're majoring in?
In my major, I'm basically want to be a plastic surgeon. I know it's a long way to go, but I had a tumor of a breast cancer, kind of. I turned out that it was not cancer, but it's like risky to me to have breast cancer, and I had a surgery and everything, and I got interested in this plastic surgery, you know, because you can help a lot of people with burns or people who has been in the war and in accidents, and obviously the cancer thing too. And you can help them, like, to have a good life, to feel better about themselves.
How will you pass on your legacy?
I think I'm already doing it, because my parents always told me to help others. So, like, when we go to church and some things like that, we help, like, poor people, or we help like immigrants or stuff like that. People who is in the place I was. So I always try to help. I got tutories back then. Now I try to help others in tutories or things like that. And I think like when I become a doctor, so I will be a doctor. So when I'm a doctor, I will like try to help others to be like the good thing of the Hispanic people.
So what is your message for EPCC students who are struggling too?
First of all, I want to thank EPCC for the scholarship, because it's really important for me. It's gonna help me a lot. And another thing for the students, apply to the scholarships. If you don't apply, you don't gonna get it, and you need the help now. You don't have to be working and studying at the same time. You can apply for scholarships. No one does. It's important for the Hispanic, because a lot of us think that we're not, like, no one listens to us. So we have to speak. I think that we can do it.
You want to say something in Spanish for the students?
Ustedes pueden, no crean que por ser hispanos no pueden o su voz se va a escuchar menos. Se va a escuchar igual, porque todos podemos.